Hello students, in this video we are going to learn three topics. First one, function overloading, second one, recursion, and third one, inline function. Now we'll see one by one topic in detail. First one, function overloading. Before that, we'll see what is overloading. Overloading occurs when the same operator or function name is used with different signatures. Here, signature is the operator or function name and the order list of its arguments types. In short, overloading refers to the use of same thing for different purposes. In C++, both operators and functions can be overloaded. Now we are going to see how function is overloaded. In C++, it is possible to have several functions with the same name, but only difference in the number of arguments or type of arguments. When an overloaded function is called, the C++ compiler selects the proper function by checking the number, type, and order of arguments in the call. It is only through these differences compiler can differentiate between the functions and invoke proper function. Function overloading is an example of compile time polymorphism. Let us see the simple example of function overloading, where number of arguments of area function is different. In this program, I am calculating area of rectangle and area of square. I have declared both the functions with the same name, that is area. But if you see here, both the places parameters are different. In the first case, I have declared area with only one parameter. In the second case, I have declared area with two parameters. See the code inside the main function. In cout, I am calling area function with one parameter. That means I am calling area of square function. So, when function call is made, compiler will search the function whose name is area. But the compiler will found two functions whose name is area. So in that case, compiler will match the parameters. Here, compiler will see the function is called with one parameter. So the compiler will jump to the function definition. Here in our program, first function having two parameters. So this function will not invoke because calling function having one parameter. So compiler will move to second function definition. In second function, I am having two parameters and calling function also having two parameters. So this function will get invoked. After that, calculation part will get done and it will return calculated value back to the calling function. Now, in main function, second statement, I am calling area function in cout. That means I am calling area of rectangle. So again, compiler will check for area function with two parameters. Control will jump to function definition. In first function definition, it will check. Here it is having two parameters and calling function also having two parameters. So this function will get invoked. After that, calculation will take place and calculated value is returned back to calling function. So this is how my both the function with the same name, that is area, but both the function with the different number of arguments or parameters. So this is what called as function overloading. Now moving to the next one. Next one is recursion. Now what is recursion? A programming technique in which a function calls itself is known as recursion. Function that calls itself is called as recursive function. In simple language, when a function calls itself continuously, that is known as recursion. Recursive function keeps calling itself, so it must stop at some point. For that, we have to give some condition. See the working of recursion in C++ on the screen. Here, recurse function is used, which calls itself in recurse function. In main function, we are calling recurse function, which will jump to recurse function. Now see the program, which will find factorial of a given number using recursion. Here, my recursive function is factorial. In main function, I am calling factorial function with n parameter. Here, n is number which we are going to take from user and going to find factorial of that number. For example, user wants to find factorial of 4. So here n value is 4 and factorial of 4 is 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So we are going to get answer as 24. So when factorial function gets called, compiler will jump to factorial function and will execute factorial function body. Here, inside the factorial function, if condition is there. This condition is to stop recursive function at some point. So the condition is n greater than 1, that is 4 is greater than 1, condition is true. So it will execute if body. Inside if, return statement is there, that is n into factorial n minus 1, that is return 4 into factorial n minus 1, that is 4 minus 1, 3. Here we are calling factorial function again. So compiler will jump to beginning of function. Now n value become 3. Again it will check for condition 3 is greater than 1, condition true. So it will execute if body. Inside if body, again return statement 3 into factorial 2. Again beginning of function, n value become 2. Again it will check for condition 2 is greater than 1, condition is true. So it will execute if body. again 2 into factorial 1. Again factorial function will jump to beginning of function. Now n value become 1. Again it will check for condition. 1 is greater than 1. Condition become false. So it will execute else body. Now it will return value as 1. So till now factorial function gets 4, 3, 2 and 1 value. It will multiply and return 24 value to calling function, and that 24 is stored in variable result. This is how recursion works.
Now moving to the next one, inline function. When a function is called, certain amount of time is spent on passing values, passing control, returning value and returning control to the calling function. To save this time, C++ gives us a solution of inline functions. To this problem, inline function makes a program run faster because the overhead of a function call and return is eliminated. However, it makes program to take up more memory because the statements that define inline function are reproduced at each point where the function is called. Now we'll see what is inline function. An inline function is a function that is expanded in line when it is invoked. The inline function is useful for small size functions. To create inline functions, we use the inline keyword. Keyword inline is not command, but it is a request to the compiler. Following are some situations in which inline function request may ignore by compiler. First one, if inline functions are recursive. Second one, if functions contain static variables. Third one, for functions returning value, if loop, switch or goto statement exists. Fourth one, for functions not returning value, if a return statement exists. Also, if function is big in size, then inline functions will not work. Now we'll see how to declare inline functions. For that, we have to follow syntax. See the syntax on a screen. We have to use inline keyword, then return type of function, then function name and in brackets parameters. Curly braces open, then inline function body, curly braces close. Now see the example. Inline keyword, then float. Here float is return type of my function. Cube is my function name. In bracket float a is my parameter. Curly braces open, return a semicolon is my inline function body. Curly braces close. Now we'll see the program which will calculate cube using inline function. Now in this program, cube is my inline function. As you can see on screen, before cube function I have written inline keyword. So cube is my inline function. Then I am calling that function in main function. As you can see in statement, cube of the number is cube r. So this is how inline function works. Thank you.